Iceman coming.
Kid J Scott TV. We here. Iceman is coming. It's getting cold. But nah, for real. We here to talk about Drake. I know I'm late, but I'm getting back to y'all. Kid J Scott TV will be here every day. We dropping. I'm here to talk about the Iceman episodes that came out and the Drake crash out. The Drake crash out has begun and I am here for it. I'm here to talk about, like, what does this mean for the industry, my Iceman predictions, my Iceman recap, and yeah, man. I don't know if y'all seen Iceman episode 2, but Drake went the streamer route. He made it seem like he was doing a live stream, which I can prove to you that this was shot live. Each live stream was supposed to begin at 9 o'clock. Pretty much all of them were late, and yeah, man, they were definitely live. Let's briefly, because I know I'm late on episode 1, let's briefly get into episode 1. So we've been waiting to see, like, what kind of rollout Drake was going to do for Iceman, and I must say, I think his rollout has been phenomenal. It's been crazy. If y'all don't know, Iceman is a Marvel character from the X-Men. His real name is Bobby Drake, so I feel like that's kind of like, you know, Drake's new, like, you know how he was Six God and Champagne Poppy and all this, so I feel like now he is the Iceman. Episode 1 of Iceman basically starts off where Drake is kind of like, it's like he's at work. He's at work. He's on break. He does your normal break stuff. He like puts food in the microwave. He's getting his coffee. He's basically at this like ice factory where they make ice, and he's basically on break. Next thing you know, he turns on the TV, which is very important for later, where he goes into just like old scenes of Drake, where I think he's like open up for Ice Cube. He's like downtown Drake in Toronto, just walking around where it's busy, like just in the field, fans is coming up to him, like, and he's just doing his thing, which is important for later.
I don't give a fuck if you love me. I don't give a fuck if you like me.
Next scene, Drake is in front of a mansion. This is where it kind of gets crazy. The next scene, Drake kind of he's in front of his mansion, like basically chilling. There's guns out everywhere. I've seen a lot of theories, a lot of people thinking like, oh, it's the guns, and the two big guns are basically like who Drake is beefing with. Is to a bigger source of his beef, which that could be true. I don't know, but all I know is that this is what the cartels do when they're ready to go to war. So I feel like that, yeah, the two guns probably is symbolizing like the big, which is probably UMG, which I'll get into later. But Drake is just basically like, to me, this is where the crash out begins. This is where the crash out begins, y'all. This is where Drake is just basically saying like, yo, I'm ready to go to war, dog. I got these guns laid out. What's happening? But yeah, man, crazy scene. This is where it starts getting dark.
So bro in the pop out with them, but been did round gangsters headline.
So then, again, the crash out has begun. We go into the song "What Did I Miss," which is obviously a diss track. We all know who is dissing. I'm gonna break that down briefly. But when I was listening to the song, I was like, all right, this is fire. The one thing I liked is when he goes into, I look at this shit like a BTC, could be down this week, then I'm up next week, let's go. Like he's talking about Bitcoin, which is fire, because, you know, Bitcoin is always up and down, and it's basically unpredictable, kind of like what Drake is about to be. He's unpredictable. We don't know what's happening to Iceman. We're getting into it, and I feel like a lot of y'all are missing this diss. He goes into a TLC bar where he's basically like, yeah, niggas get punched on the face on some TL shit on the dead guys. So when he says on the dead guys, Kendrick Lamar has a bar in GNX where he mentions on the dead guys. And then I don't know if y'all know, but Rick Ross went to Canada and basically played Not Like Us, and then pretty much allegedly got punched in the face or jumped right after. So I feel like this is a shot at basically Rick Ross saying like, you gonna get punched in the face. And he does mention, you know, the whole Kendrick Lamar dead guy thing, which he did mention. And then next, we all know now he is talking about LeBron. He goes into LeBron where he says, I saw bro went to the pop out with them, but Dick riding since headlines. I don't know if I'm gonna find it, but there is a tweet out where LeBron basically said at the moment Headlines is one of his favorite songs out. So yeah, he's going in at LeBron, which now we seen like LeBron kind of shot back at him by singing Not Like Us in that video. And You can tell Drake's really hurt. Drake, Drake had the whole LeBron tattoo, which is that's kind of weird. But he got that shit covered up, and yeah, now he's pretty much beefing with LeBron. The next scene we go where Drake goes to clock in from his break, basically about to get back to work. We seen a few blue tins earlier that were like covered up, wrapped up, like they could need to go out for delivery. So we feel like that I feel like that maybe Drake is about to go basically clock in and deliver those. Right when he clocks in, he used the code 1025, which my prediction is that's going to be the album release date. I know it's a Saturday, but Drake tends to drop whenever he wants anyway. So yeah, I feel like that's going to be the release date. I know it's kind of far out and the promotion has started quite early, but I mean, Drake's on tour right now. He's going to be on tour till I think mid-September. And no matter what, I know Drake's been putting in a lot of work with these videos, with these live streams, but I just don't feel like that the crash out won't happen while he's on tour. So I feel like once he's done with the tour, we will get the Iceman drop. So I feel like, October 25th could be the release date. Now Drake then proceeds to drive downtown Toronto, 9 p.m. on a Friday night. He's live streaming on YouTube. He's basically live streaming on the Titantrons throughout the city. He's with the windows down at this point. You can just tell Drake don't give a fuck. He's basically, that's why I said pay attention. He's basically reminiscing and going back to when he was like younger, walking through the city. Like, I don't give a fuck. I can. And now he's doing it again. He's doing it again. He's driving through the city, walking through the city. When he's not walking through the city, he's driving through the city just like, man, I'm him. I'm still him. I can go out to my city and I'm safe in my city. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm basically streaming to the whole city on this Titantron that I am here, and basically I don't give a fuck. And this is just crazy. This is where I just feel like, damn, Drake's really crashing out right now. But that was briefly into episode 1. Episode 2 is where it gets a little bit more spicier. We basically get a guy at the beginning, right? He's telling I don't really know like where this voice is from. Maybe they did it just for this video, but he's basically saying it's been 3 weeks since we seen you. Your truck is empty. No one can find you. It's going to be a problem. And I feel like after further review, this is someone who is probably representing UMG because now we know that this is possibly and probably going to be Drake's last final album under UMG. So I feel like this is just basically him symbolizing that he's not returning their phone calls and he's basically doing what the fuck he wants and he's not trying to make amends. Because I feel like with the whole clips thing, UMG trying to not play Kendrick Lamar's verse has something to do with this. You know what I mean? They're trying to make amends with Drake, and I feel like he's basically just saying like, nah, motherfucker, like, I'm cool. I don't give a fuck. This is my last album with y'all. I'm not gonna put any UMG artists on here. I'm not gonna work with any UMG producers. I want y'all to get the least amount of money that y'all can possibly get from this album, and after this, I'm going independent. I feel like that's basically what all this means, and I feel like that's huge for hip hop. I mean, let's be honest. Drake going independent could change the game because it's like Drake just has such a crazy following that it's like I feel like he can be one of the artists that go independent and still get the #1 hits and still make the money that he can make now without a label. But then now he's keeping all that. So that's huge for hip hop, and I hope I'm on the right track, man, because I would love to see a lot more artists just do it from an independent standpoint. I feel like that we're getting to the point where we don't honestly need the labels anymore. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like Drake was acting in the first video like he was working, because it was just like he was kind of symbolizing like, yo, this is it. I'm about to clock out. It's my last shift. You know what I mean? So, and I feel like after further review that's just what all that meant. All right, y'all, back to the video. Drake starts referencing Pinocchio, which we see him drawn on like this random door that he's walking through. That was the first Pinocchio reference. Next, we see him in a brewery, maybe because he's brewing something up. Nah, but randomly, he's walking through the brewery. He's just like pressing buttons, but we see almost every direction there's the red button. So it's just like, damn, like I felt like this whole time we thought Family Matters was the red button, but really, he's about to press the red button on Iceman. Iceman's coming. It's getting chilly. It's getting chilly, but I feel like, yeah, he's about to press the red button. That's what Iceman meant. Next after this, we see outside that there's a person that's dressed up as Pinocchio, basically stalking Drake at this point. After that, we go into where Pinocchio is following Drake. He's kind of looking back at this dude like whatever, and then it passes by, which I feel like was purposely. It was like a route. It was like a route through Manchester because it's shot in Manchester, and it has the time on there, which was currently the time now. So I feel like that's just Drake showing y'all that nah, like this is live streaming right now. Like this is live. Like I put time and effort into this, which I feel like is fire. Which I feel like is fire because we live in a day now where these streamers are taking off. Everything's live stream. So Drake is just showing y'all that he's actually live streaming. Like that's pretty crazy. After that, we run into Central C, who is dressed like a mobster. Like I said, this is real time, so I feel like they play like this random Central C song while Drake is kind of like approaching to where they're gonna meet up to do this exchange. After that, we see Drake pull up with this bag. They're about to do this exchange, which I feel like is a metaphor for what Drake is about to unleash on the industry. So they make this big exchange where like Central C gives Drake this bag. They made it like they met up at this like secret location. It's really above this pool, and this is where we get the first diss. It's funny because we see how it's like a 4.5 foot deep. Then they go into an empty pool where you see it 6 foot deep, which I feel like is obviously a shot at Kendrick Lamar. Talking about his height again, which I think is hilarious, and also just how Kendrick Lamar, his first big song was Swimming Pool. So maybe that's a metaphor for diving into an empty swimming pool. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a reach, but that's what I feel like that is for. He's still constantly sending shots at Kendrick. Next, we get into like the next single, which I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of this song. It's Drake and Central C, and basically you got this girl who's just like in an empty swimming pool, just kind of like dancing. Which I don't know, man. I've seen a bunch of theories, but I just feel like that yeah, Drake, he's making a party song, but he ain't in the mood for partying right now. Like, there's an empty pool for a reason. This girl's in all black. Like yeah, it's a party song because I make party songs. But man, this is also this Iceman is gonna be somebody's funeral because we going at everyone. This is the crash out. Like I said, I'm here for it. So next we get into where after Drake gets this bag, we see Pinocchio, which a lot of people are saying that it could be Kendrick Lamar, which obviously I feel like it could be Kendrick Lamar, but it could just be a mixture of a bunch of people. It could be just how all these rappers are basically puppets in a bigger picture. But a lot of people are saying it's Kendrick Lamar. So we get Pinocchio running after Drake, which in my opinion is like a metaphor. It symbolizes that the lies chasing Drake will never catch up to what's real and the bag he's about to drop on the industry. So that's just my personal opinion. And as you can see, Pinocchio never catches up to Drake. At this point, he gets to what looks like could be like an airport or some sort. And at this point, you can see like Pinocchio never caught up to Drake. He's way behind. The lies have never caught up to Drake. And then we get Drake in the elevator, and they play this crazy beat. I'm talking about this beat is like, it's pretty insane. No lie. So I feel like that's gonna be kind of like the crash out song on Iceman. I feel like Drake is about to go in and just start basically just talking shit on everyone, crashing out, exposing the industry, just doing everything. And I get it. Overall, I get it that maybe y'all feel that Drake is dragging this out, but also look at Kendrick Lamar, who's constantly going on tour, constantly performing, basically using the Drake diss songs, which kind of gave him his clout now. Like, I feel like Kendrick's always been like a huge artist, but he's never been on this scale. And it is because of, his disses towards Drake. So I feel like that, yeah, Drake, he can, I feel like these last 2 episodes kind of also just kind of symbolize like, bruh, like I'm still ahead of y'all. Y'all will never catch up to me. I'm clipped up. I showed y'all all the clips. I showed y'all all the guns. Like, I'm clipped up. I can go on forever. And I like this, man. Like I said, I'm here for the crash out. I love it. My predictions next. I feel like it's gonna be a minute before we get the Iceman episode 3, but I feel like he is at the airport because he's about to leave. And I would love for the next one to be the spicy one, where maybe he's playing clips of his shots and you really know who it's for, but he's just going in and shit. I would love for him to actually go to California. Now, this one, Drake, I wouldn't do live. I get it, and maybe that this is the plan, that like the first 2 episodes were somewhat live, but this next one can't be. But I would love to see Drake like just go to California, walk through LA, go to Delilah with all of his ice.
I get off the plane and nothing has changed. I head to Delilah with all of my ice. Head to Delilah with all of my ice.
You know what I mean? And that, you could even start off episode 3 like head to Delilah with all of my ice and just fucking just be at Delilah, bro. Just walking through LA, like showing like, bro, I can still go everywhere and get love everywhere. Again, I wouldn't do this shit live. I mean, hey Drake, you can do it live. You can do it live if you want. Do what you want. Do what you want, player. But yeah, man, Iceman's coming. I feel like we got a lot in store, and I just feel like this is, a lot of artists do this. I feel like this is Drake's Crash Out album, but I feel like it's gonna be dope. And I feel like he's gonna have some crazy, like that last beat in that last episode was wild. So man, we ready for it, man. I'm gonna start reviewing everything on a faster pace. I'm ready for episode 3. I might even do like a live reaction and then go into the recap. But yeah, man, let's get it. Iceman coming. Kid J Scott TV. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We lit. Let's go.